and we're going to start it with a cat meowing. That's totally appropriate because we have a bunch of cats here, a bunch of hens. We want to bitch about 2020 stuff, so that's what we're doing tonight. And we're Cynthia McDonald originally brought up the trying to. We have a bunch of cats here.
Ooh,
a bunch of hens. Got the echo.
I'm sorry, that's me.
Okay, thanks, Maya. So Cynthia McDonald originally brought up the idea of talking about advocating during a worldwide pandemic because it makes it harder to go out and support people. So that was the original thing. I decided to call it Itching a Bitch because we all have things to say. I mean, I know for a fact that Susan and Maya and Ilya definitely have things to say.
It's been a rough year for all.
Hasn't it been crazy?
Yeah.
So I named it What's Your 20 for 2020? And that's your location, where you stand is what I meant by that. So let's start with, we'll do random. Maya, you're randomly selected. Where are you at mentally with 2020?
2020 has been a rough year. I was my job downsized and I was part of the cuts. Yeah. I'm working a temp job right now. It's, it's what it is. I'm grateful that I'm not financially strapped, but it's been, I don't know, doesn't keep the stress down. I think the hardest part was losing my health insurance because I was diagnosed with moderate to severe ADHD. And so when you have ADHD, you have to see a doctor. You can't get refills on those meds. Makes it very hard to pass an interview. And, I've been using this to kind of educate people. It's really important not to have insurance tied to a job. And this is why. And I'm like, I present well. So I'm one of the lucky few. But, good God, if I needed it for my insulin or my heart medication, for
insulin,
for just any number of things, and I was having a hard time working a job, like how do I even say yes to a temp job? They don't give insurance, and it's more expensive for me to go through Medicaid, is twice what my employer was making me pay per check.
You mean Cobra?
No, Cobra would have been, that would have been close.
Cobra's even worse usually.
Yeah, that's like 10 times as much.
Yeah, Cobra would have been around $2,000 a month for me to keep.
But you can't buy Medicaid. That's why I'm confused.
We have no, you can. You can go. You have to go through. You have to apply for a Medicaid, and they'll throw you into a paid program if you make too much. And so ours is MCHIP. Because I'm in Maryland, so it's MCHIP, and don't ask me what that stands for. And it's $500 a month for me to have with a high spend down. So for $500 a month, I can pay for something that wants me to have I think the spend down was like $5,000 or something crazy like that. And I'm like, well, I could just go through my doctor and pay without having the crazy middleman of, so it'll suck. Like if I have to go to the hospital, I would have been happy to have that $5,000 spend down. But if I'm just going to the doctor's office and buying meds, it makes no sense for me to have health insurance anymore.
Absolutely. I'm the same way. My pills out of pocket without insurance are like $25 a month.
Yeah.
And
you can go to Walmart, it's $10 for the meds.
Right, I could. I just go where I work because it's convenient. It's a few more dollars, but it's convenient. I don't have to deal with Walmart crap. So, and then I have to see a doctor every 4 months, probably the same as you, or every 3 months. Sorry, 4 times a year. And but with those expenses, honestly, you know what I do? This is my trick. I'm going to admit it. Every time a new year comes up, I get insurance. I go get my yearly cleaning. I go get new glasses and new contacts. I go see my doctor, and then I cancel the insurance and I pay the rest out of pocket the rest of the year.
It's cheaper.
So that's what I do. Yeah. because all the vision and everything, you save a lot of money on that.
Yeah.
You know, and I obviously need glasses and such, and I want my teeth taken care of because I've smashed them before. But yeah, but after that, after I get past that one thing for the year, I don't have shit. So yeah, that's what I do. I use it for a month or two and then I ditch it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll probably end up doing something like that because if I don't get a job, like a full-time job soon, I'm in HR, so like everything's saturated here right now.
Oh
so,
yeah. I bet.
Figuring it out. So yeah, I mean, I know so many people who are having surgeries, are living check to check. I had money in my savings. I am worrying. I'm not stressed out. So I understand that I'm lucky, but it's also like a big cause of concern for me, just like the state of the nation and what other people are going through. And,
yes,
how heartless people seem to be about things, like not even just the politicians, which I know Susan and I could just like go on and on about that.
Oh yeah. I did that with Meta earlier, like just talking about like politics for a good hour straight. Yeah.
Yeah. You could get me and Susan probably going for a good 12 hours.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with the nation? I'll start and you can jump in when I get hoarse.
Yeah. Let's see. Where do we start? How there's just so much.
Well, since we already have Susan talking, Susan, what's your itching to bitch for 2020?
My itching to bitch. Let's see. It does have to do with healthcare too, but since I just had to plunk down like even with my insurance, I just had to plunk down like $250 on medication. So that was fun. But and then so we've been here in Portland for 6 months, thereabout. It finally rained for the first time in like 3 months yesterday. So finally the air quality is not like, in the 300s for a ridiculously dangerous level. I left Texas so I wouldn't have to deal with bullshit. It's
literally
just a different kind of bullshit in Oregon.
Literally bullshit there, though. There's lots of cows there.
Exactly. We all ride horses to school, stuff like that, But
we might have to wrap back around to do a whole thing about the insurance issue, because that's something that drives me nuts. Hey, Susan, ask me how many times I've wrecked a vehicle in my life.
How many times have you wrecked a vehicle in your life?
One time. I was 18. I wrecked one vehicle when I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
I pay insurance every year and I never use it. But anyways, yeah, just insurance in general pisses me off. It's just a big racket. It's a huge racket.
I worked for a personal injury law firm before I started working at the school that I started at about a month ago. Oh boy, insurance companies, car insurance companies, they will be the death of me because they are so difficult to deal with. And I think they do it on purpose too. Like they're just purposefully assholes about everything, car insurance and health insurance. That I've been a professional doctor's appointment goer since I was 12 years old, because that's when I was diagnosed as diabetic. Okay. And every single one, it's just like, okay, I know exactly what I'm putting down for all of this stuff and blah, blah, blah. But I am at a point where, and I think I've been at this point for a little while, where if I could just move to Canada, no, I've been this way for a while. If I could just move to Canada just for the healthcare, then I would be fine with that. I would be great with that. But I
keep asking the Canadians to adopt us.
Yes.
Right?
Right. There's some of us that are pretty awesome. Some of us are going to make really good Canadians, but
it would be nice if they would just invade us and take over our government.
Right.
That would be,
they need to get more weaponry, and then they could probably do that. So
Yeah, and they need to just stop. They'll just apologize the whole time. Sorry.
Right.
That way we don't have to move to that cold climate.
It does get pretty cold there. That's the one thing I don't really care for about Canada.
Yeah, that's what's with the adoption. So I can still have my decent weather most of the time.
Yeah,
right.
That's that'll be fine.
Okay, yeah. Granny, it's on you, lady. What do you say?
I was doing pretty good until yesterday.
Right.
Me and my brother were just talking about this like a month ago, not even 2.5, 3 weeks ago. We were saying we are so screwed if.
Well, you remember about a month ago, I did a stream, why you need to vote for Biden. Yes. And my number one argument was because RBG will not live through another presidency.
I've been saying that all year.
I really thought that she could make it to the end of the year. I thought that on willpower alone.
Aww,
that is so cool. I need one of those. Where did you get that? Amazon?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. Nathaniel got it a little while back. He also got me a Jackie Kennedy one, and we have a Jimmy Carter and stuff too. I think you could. Next time we go to Funko HQ, I'll see if there's any more of them.
I'm sure I can find it somewhere.
Yeah, because I'm wanting to say we probably got it on Amazon or GameStop or something. This one we had to wait on for a while.
I'm going to tell you though. Granny, you might want to wait about 6 months because everybody's buying that stuff right now. They're going to jack the prices up for the next 6 months.
Yeah,
and after everything calms down, it'll go back down again.
If you buy it right away, you'll do fine. Like the first thing I wanted as soon as I got the news was a copy of the movie On the Basis of Sex. Mm-hmm. And Amazon doesn't have it. I was shocked. Oh, but my husband went to Target today and he picked me up one.
Oh, nice.
Oh, good.
Nice. Good. Yeah, there's a website, Descent Pins, that has like pins of RBG's face, and they have her. Basically, it's founded on pins of her descent collar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
I got a tie bar for Nathaniel earlier, and I got one that I'm sending to Andrew Seidel from the Freedom for Religion Foundation. I was like, I've got to get these. Like, I need to get one for Nathaniel, and I'm sending one to my favorite lawyer. So,
right. So, Granny, what is your obviously Supreme Court, but give us a little detail about your concerns with what's involved with that.
My number one concern is if Trump gets reelected, we're headed for Gilead. And it's not as bad for me as it is for younger women. But, all these Christian right groups that are so pro-birth and, women need to pop out the babies. Now, I've had a hysterectomy. I can't do that. I just think that we are headed to turning civil rights back. And when I say civil rights, I mean civil rights for women, civil rights for the LGBTQ community, civil rights for Black people. I think all civil rights are going to get turned back 20 years, regardless of who Trump appoints to the court.
But also
that's one of my big fears.
Let's not forget about workers' rights as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because that's true. They are doing all they can. The courts, I'm thinking about court decisions that have come over the past 2-3 years, where it's just fuck workers, businesses need to breathe. And it's just I don't want to go back to where we were before the NLRA. Which we've all seen those pictures of the 6-year-old with a stogie, outside of a mine. And my husband's from West Virginia, and there are just stories from that his grandfather would. I hear from his dad that his grandfather would tell them, like, there were there's housing. So it was like that the mines owned. And so if you worked for the mines, they would allow you they would take money out of your check. And, you could stay it's like renting.
Company housing.
Yes, thank you. There was a company store, and like, so you got paid minor bucks. Like you couldn't leave. You can't save and eventually take your money and do anything else. Have a nice retirement. I mean, it was a pipe dream. Thing like if your husband died as a minor, hopefully you had a good enough rapport with somebody else so you could marry and not be kicked out on your ass and as a widow with your children. It just, like, these stories I used to hear about, like what used to happen before unions came in and kind of broke up, like the evil fuckery that the big businesses had, the hold that they had on people. And it's just like we don't teach this. And I don't know if people just really don't think that it's a thing. I hear all the time, like, we need to abolish the minimum wage. And I'm like, before we had a minimum wage, people were working a week for the amount of a sandwich. Like, I just don't understand where people are coming from. And at this point, it's just like, you can't rationalize shit with people. Like, just the arguments you have to make, you can't research and regurgitate in a conversation. You just have to save them from themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, we went to crazy. So we visited my daughter in Seattle recently. When I say recently, I mean before the pandemic hit. And I was shocked at there were so many homeless people. And I went up to one of them and offered him money, and he shook his head. No, he had money. He showed me who to give the money to, who was more in need than he was. And my daughter said, yeah, most of the homeless people have jobs. They just don't make enough money to be able to afford their own place to live. And we were going through a museum that had a display that showed, because of the price of housing in Seattle is so high, $26 an hour is what you need at a minimum to be able to afford a place to live.
Yeah. I believe it. For Seattle, I believe that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's almost that bad here, honestly.
That's
like,
crazy.
When I lived in Ohio, you could easily live off of $13 to $15 an hour. But here you have to be up by 20 or close to 20, or you just can't. I mean, the cheapest places around here, it's like $1,000 for a little tiny one bedroom. Mm-hmm. So you just can't. And honestly, most of the homeless people where I live, it's because most of them, like I would say 70 to 80, maybe 85% of them, it's because they're alcoholics and drug addicts and they don't want to work. Mm-hmm. And they take such good care of the homeless here. They give them, they get EBT cards, they get the shelter. There's everywhere around town. Every day of the week, you can go and get a plate full of food this big for free. Like, literally, they don't even ask if you're homeless. I could walk up and get it if I wanted to. They just hand it out every church, every day of the week. So why go back to work? They have a free place to live. They get money.
If you want any kind of
they get fed.
Any kind of quality of life, though, which most people do.
Well, they're on drugs. They don't care.
But if you're on drugs, then yeah.
There's
that's a myth, though. And unfortunately, that myth is one of the problems that we have in trying to get decent wages for people, because the myth that 80% of, I heard this from someone else too, that 80% of the homeless people are all drug addicts. And I went and looked it up, and no, it's closer to 20%. And yes, they are out there. Yeah, that might be true in your area, but overall, it's 20%, not 80%.
Oh yeah, where I live.
Oh, B?
She's junk shopping. She'll be back.
Oh. No, yeah, I'm in Baltimore. So, yeah, my daughter has a bachelor's of science in finance. So she has a job for $18 an hour, and like, she's still not comfortable moving out of the house.
Yeah.
so again, she's finance, so she wants to save. She was like, well, if something happens, I want to have 6 to 8 months worth of savings. That should, where I'd feel comfortable, paying bills and eating, and, that should get me through to the next job without losing all of my savings. And that's a wonderful way to look at it. But yeah, and I know here in Baltimore too, the city, we don't really have like housing for homeless or things like that through churches. The city funneled their resources through Catholic charities. And so they have the homeless shelters. And so what they do is work with everybody that goes into the shelter to get them moved out into an apartment. So, they have a place where they can do work on resume building. They can have interview clothes. They get them phones, an address. So yeah, most of them do have like EBT cards and Medicaid. Yeah. And
Medicare is the one for
the old people.
Yeah. Yeah. I learned that. I learned that.
Think about it.
Insurance stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have all that, but I mean, it's to get them to a better place. And then there's also the education and the resources that are like, okay, this is what you need. This is a social worker that you can contact if you're falling down on hard times or, bad luck or whatever, to help get you through rough patches or to give you the resources you need to stay in a house. They don't just, allow them to stay into the facilities. And again, there's just so many people that are still on the streets. We need to, I don't want to say funnel them through. They get the resources they need, but we need to try to push them through as quickly as possible without hurting them, so that we can get more people through that need the help.
Yeah. And I think treating the like drug and alcohol addictions, I think that's a big thing, because I think it's
a separate thing. I mean, you may happen to be homeless, but the homelessness isn't the issue at that point.
Yeah,
you need to treat the issue.
Yeah, and that's exactly my point. That in towns like this, where all these rich people want to help, they end up enabling them instead of guiding them on a better path and giving them the actual help they need.
Exactly.
They don't put any of them. They don't offer like discounted rehab or free for the first month, or they could do all that and spend less money on that person at the end of the day if they actually just help them and they enable them instead. And they don't. They just get away with so much. Like they quit arresting people because of COVID unless you have a felony.
Yeah.
Well, everybody knows that. So the homeless people, literally, the druggy, drunk homeless, they just walk in and grab shit and look at you and just walk out. They know you can't do anything.
Wow.
I had one punch me in the neck because of that when all this started. He's like, what are you going to do? It's not a felony. Well, shit, you're right. I can't do anything. And it just gives them more power of the situation. It's all enabling.
Yeah.
It's a little different here. So like if you do something, you get bail and then you have to come back whenever the courts decide to open up. So you don't get off scot-free, but it's still something. So yeah, that's weird that they're not even, oh, he stole from you. Sucks to be you. Goodbye. Like that seems a little
that's where we're at. That's where they're so afraid to bring any COVID into the jails and prisons here that they just stopped it. So
you're on the West Coast?
Yes.
Insane.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, because I know it's been a lot harder on the West Coast than it has. Again, I'm in Maryland, so we've done a lot. We have really low. I say really low. I mean, it's more than we'd like, obviously, but people they're low. So like, we don't want to put a bunch of people into jail, but if we had to, I don't know. I think the bigger, for us at least, the bigger issue is the guards giving it to the inmates than vice versa.
Right.
Yeah, because they're actually going out
in
public. They're not, basically in a form of isolation. So that's
actually
dangerous. Yeah.
And I actually like what they're doing. I think it should be more. I don't like the concept of bail. I think it's ridiculous, especially since I
completely disagree with you.
I know a lot of people do, but I mean,
well, it
for a lot
depends
of
on what
people
you
who
mean by
usually
that.
aren't even put in jail for something that they're just going to let you off for. Why am I sitting in jail for 6 months for something that I'm not even going to be charged with? I think it's a waste of time, resources, and like a lot of these people have children, families, jobs, that are just being that they're losing because of this arbitrary dollar amount that's sometimes only $75.
Well,
Yeah.
what I was going to say is it depends on whether what you mean is that everyone should just stay in jail until they're charged, or if you mean that everyone should be released and told when to return for court. And there's a huge difference between those two, obviously.
Well, it depends on what you mean by everyone.
Right. Obviously, you're not going to release violent offenders.
Certainly. Yeah. No. If anything violent, yeah, I would say no. Like they need to, anything that you would not give bail to, clearly they need to stay.
Yeah.
They need to stay. And then outside of that, it would really depend on the severity of the offense for me. But by and large, I'm not a huge proponent.
But you're right. The bail
bail.
system is horrendous.
Yeah.
It favors the rich, and people who can't afford bail end up in jail until they can. And it is a de facto pauper's prison.
It is. And I mean, what we're seeing is it's harming mostly the innocent because most of the people are just released by the court date. Why were we ever holding them? This is insane.
Yeah.
Here's one thing that I saw as an attorney. I was asked to do a jail run once, and that meant that you go to a holding cell and you represent, as a public defender, everyone that's in that particular holding cell.
Oh.
And the advice I was given was, almost everyone that's in there, the sentence they're going to get is going to be less than the amount of time they've already been sitting in there waiting.
Yeah.
So just tell them to all plead guilty so that they can go home. Because if they plead not guilty, they have to stay in jail until their court date.
Yeah. But and then
there's
has
that.
its own. Yeah, and now I have
record forever.
Yeah. It as again, I'm HR. That is horrible when you're trying to get a job.
Right.
Trying to explain, I mean, because people who've never been in that situation don't understand it. And you have to explain this forever. And it's just like, well, why would you plead guilty? Like it makes it harder for them to do so many other things. I'm not.
Well, and pleading not guilty is a huge crapshoot. Because if you plead not guilty and are found guilty, you're going to get a longer sentence than if you would have pled guilty to something you weren't guilty of.
But that should be between the person and their lawyer. You shouldn't be holding their job, their children over their head as like a bargaining chip for them pleading guilty to something that they're not guilty of. If they get with their lawyer and they're like, okay, regardless of all this other stuff, like, yeah, you could still lose it. But if you want to take that risk, allowing me to tell everyone, find a place for my children, if I can just get all that squared away before, all this stuff happens to me, like, I think it's more a humane way of dealing with it, even if I can't convince a jury of my innocence.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna have you pause because I have two more ladies to get to. Miss Moon.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We'll wrap back around and talk about all that. I feel like what you guys just brought up is probably going to be involved in what they're dealing with anyway. So you guys hit a lot of points. Miss Moon, what is your 2020 issue?
I have so many. Where do I start? So from a personal perspective, this year has sucked royally. If you set aside just the issues we've had with COVID and being isolated and quarantined and everything else, and of course the depression or anxiety that comes with that. I lost my son in January, so that's how I started my 2020.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, honey.
So
Can't imagine.
That kind of set the tone for the rest of the year, I think, because it's just been nonstop since then with different things. It's been, I guess, my 2020 is a year of loss because my uncle passed from COVID a couple months later, and then my grandfather passed away in June. And
oh my God.
Yeah.
I need to hug you right now.
I know.
Holy shit. I'm done bitching for the year. I'm fine. I'm done. Okay, this stream's going to end as soon as she's done talking because I got nothing. I got nothing. Oh my God, honey.
It's been a really hard year. I put on my different hats very well where when I'm online and I'm doing my shows and stuff, you know, I can be relaxed and focused on it. But at the same time, there's been a lot of times outside of being here and being on my channel and stuff where I fall apart in a lot of ways. My doctor has increased my medication just to help me. My mental health has suffered pretty bad this year. But with a lot of support in the community that I've had, I've been able to still focus and maintain and do a passion that I love, which is equality and the creepy show and doing those fun things with my channel peers. And, you know, that's been very, very cathartic for me and therapeutic for me to have an outlet in that regard. So that's been nice. I also, you know, with the COVID and everything else, you know, that probably hasn't helped the circumstances because, I mean, I feel like I only see these walls of my apartment every day, all day. Plus, I've had all this other loss going on. So it seems like a little overwhelming at times, but I'm managing through and I'm trying to be optimistic at this point. Shockingly, I know. But, you know, Punchy's coming in from Canada in November. So I have something to look forward to there. And that's really exciting. And then I'm going to try to focus on, you know, the positives for the rest of the year and try to retrain my brain on how to navigate through things because this year has been really hard.
Yes. Whew. Man.
Yeah, no, I'm so sorry to hear all that. And you're getting a lot of love from the chat, a lot of love and support from the chat too.
Yeah, I mean, some people already know about it all, you know, especially those who are very close to me within the community. But yeah, I mean, and that's just part of it. Like, there's been other things, like I up and left my ex-husband due to some domestic assault and abuse and stuff, and then he found me a couple weeks ago, and that was a whole thing. So, I mean, there's still some things. I still have litigation coming up for that. I still have other things I've got to work through. But all in all, I am trying so hard to just stay positive, stay focused, think about where I want to be with my future and think about how to get there. And I'm trying really hard to climb myself out of this dark hole I've landed in. So.
That's a lot. I mean, it's really something that you've held together as much as you have, and that you still have plans for the future, that you're still, you know, focusing on what's to come.
It's hard. It's not easy, but I've had to remind myself that it's okay for me to still smile. It's okay for me to smile. It's okay for me to laugh. It's okay for me to still enjoy life, you know. But at the end of the day, I know who I am and I know what I want. And I know that activism and advocacy are very important to me when it comes to human rights. And I know where my passion is, and I know what I need to do to move forward through that passion. So I'm going to focus on the positive, like I said, or try to, because if anything else, my son would never want me to be wallowing in self-pity. He'd want me to get up. He'd want me to smile. He'd want me to keep going. And I know that if by some off chance there is some sort of spiritual world out there, I'm sure he's looking down upon me saying, I'm proud of you, Mom. So
100%.
So I just want to do him proud. I just want him to be proud of me, like as proud as I was of him, because he was such a good young man. He was a gift to this world, a gift. Like
I
he was
swear those are the ones we lose. That's the ones we lose too soon, are the ones that are amazing. I don't know why.
He had no prejudice bone in his body for anyone or anything. And he would get mad at people. Like my nephew is mixed and was getting picked on, and my son was like, not on my watch, and went down to greet him off the bus and make sure that he was okay. I mean, he just did not have he was just the most sincere and genuine and kind person. And it's like, I feel like that was my greatest gift to this world, like, and I don't want to cry. So anyway,
it's okay, honey. It's fine. I've cried on my own stream. It's fine. Say what you want.
2020 has sucked for me.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. It has absolutely sucked the life out of me. There have been more days over the past 6 months when I've laid in bed in the fetal position and not spoken to anyone than there haven't, I'm sure. And depression is very real, and it runs very deep at times. And I'm very fortunate to have a support group and friends and family who understand that and are a soft place to land when I'm ready to get back up and go, for in case I fall,
Yeah. Well, you definitely have that in this community for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
absolutely.
There's something sorry.
No, go ahead.
There's something that because a lot of people are, sorry to bring it back around to RPG, but this is applicable, I promise. There's something that people are saying in response to what, the way that people are posting about in remembrance of her, that I think is definitely applicable in the case with your son, Ilya. They're saying, may her memory be a blessing. Mm-hmm. And I think that's definitely something that could apply here is, may his memory be a blessing. Yeah. And I think, I know that, I feel like everybody's got these different views of afterlife and stuff. And I've definitely struggled with that a lot in my time since my dad passed away when I was 15. But I know that he would be proud of you, because the kind of person that you are is the kind of person that is just a fucking good person. You are just a genuinely good person, Ilya.
Agreed.
And he would be so proud of you.
And that is,
honestly, embarrassingly proud of you. Like he would. I feel like he would probably like embarrass you with how proud he would.
You're making me tear up. That means a lot to me because, it's hard to sometimes be a good person in the face of trauma and in the face of ridicule, and it's sometimes hard. It's hard to get up sometimes.
Yeah.
But
understatement.
I try, and gosh, I try to be a good person. I really do. I fail.
And you succeed at it. No, you succeed at it.
No, please. We none of us are perfect. Hence human. None of us are perfect.
Yeah, I like to say that everybody's human, and I don't know. My son's on the spectrum, and so what it means to be a good person or a bad person or a normal person, I'm trying to retrain my brain to get out of the dualistic aspects of human nature. I think it's something that we, coming from, we're being raised in a society with like the Abrahamic religion,
Right.
we kind of, everything's black and white, good or bad, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And it's like we're all human, and we're all doing the best we can at that moment. And it's like Maya Angelou said, when you knew more, you did more. And sometimes, saying to my daughter today, it's, when dealing with my son, sometimes he only responds to like anger, and that's not normally me. I don't, it takes a lot to get me from 0 to 60. And when I'm at 60, it's just like, okay, I hate the way I feel. I just want to get back down to 0. And so I could like cuss you out today, and then tomorrow I'll be like, hey, what's going on? And then be like, oh, Ilya's mad at me. I guess she'll get over that. I'm not gonna let it bother me. Like, I'll be over here. I've already forgiven her. It's whatever, because it's like that's what the situation called for. And I was there with you. So, I can't demonize you without demonizing myself. So I'll just, it's a wash. But like that's my mentality, and I understand it's not most people's mentality. I offer it up because I think it's kind of helpful. I don't think it, again, I think it's kind of like this remnants from the religion that, oh, I'm being a good person, I'm being a bad person. And I don't get that feeling from you. I think that you, like all of us, are doing the best we can in the situation. And there's just sometimes when we can't be our best self, and it's not a bad thing. It's just where you are in that moment. And any human being, say any, it's reasonable to expect a human being to be in that place or to react that way at that moment. And it doesn't make you bad.
No,
Absolutely.
I don't think I'm a bad person. I've been going through so much. I haven't reacted in the best ways in some situations, and I know that. But at the same time, I do want to share one positive thing that's happened because, there's been a lot of negative, but there is some positive sprinkled in there. And this is something that has been very exciting for me. And I'm not shared with too many people, but now I'm going to share it. When I was 16, I got pregnant and I adopted the child out. The child searched for me and through an agency found me and wanted a relationship with me. And I was
awesome.
I was open to that. So we have been developing a relationship with each other over the past several months, and it's been beautifully developing. He even came here and spent the night in the spare bedroom, and we've had dinner together a couple times, and it's been like the biggest highlight of my year is to feel that connection after I did the right thing. I know I did the right thing. At the time, I was in no position at that moment, and I know I did the right thing. But to have a full circle and to be building this beautiful relationship means so much to me, y'all. Like I can't even tell you how elated I am. Like Punchy will be messaging me going, "Hey, do you want to hang out tonight?" And I'm like, "No, they're coming over. I can't. Sorry." Everybody else goes on the back burner when they come over because it's just my time with them,
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that is something that's happened in the past year that's been a really big highlight for me, for sure.
That's
I'm
great.
so excited. No, I my biological mother did the same thing. She was 16 or 17 when I was born, and I reconnected with her when I was a month before my 17th birthday, and it's oh my God, it's a lot. I am so excited for you.
Yeah.
I can absolutely say I understand that because I went to give my child up for adoption. The father came in and got custody, and we tried to do co-parenting, and then he disappeared after a year and a half, and I found her 14 years later. So him now. Oops. So I found him 14 years later, and yeah, that's an amazing feeling. We had to start a whole new thing, a whole new relationship, new conversations, catch up. Where have you been? Where have you been? And it's it's exciting to learn. It's just like any relationship. It's exciting to learn about somebody initially, but to get to that deep, intimate, you discuss things, and we've been there for a long time. And it's I'm going to tell you, my best friend and a pain in my butt and irritating and amazing and intelligent and kind all wrapped into one. And
Yeah,
that would be
they'll
Tyler.
drive you nuts.
That would be Tyler.
Well, like I said, you know, I've had a really rough year, but I wanted to end it at least on a positive note because regardless of what's going on, sometimes there is goodness sprinkled in, and I try to recognize it and appreciate it when it's there, especially through hard times. So 2020 has sucked. Absolutely sucked. But in the midst of it all, there is some good sprinkled in and that I'm very grateful for. And probably that good sprinkled in has been a catalyst to keep me going every day.
No,
Oh,
I
I'm
mean,
sure.
I think
I'm
finding your child in 2020 is going to, like, in hindsight, you know, be like, you know, I hated 2020, but it, you know, this is the year that, you know, this wonderful thing happened to me, and I
The
I think
most
going forward,
the most tragic thing on the planet happened to me in the same year that one of the most incredible things happened. So,
exactly.
you know, it is a, you know, I guess it's a give and take, but at the end of the day, I'm really excited about the future. I have a new diagnosis with my doctor, so I'm on some good medications now that seem to be helping regulate me back out, and
Nice.
I can see myself improving mentally and emotionally. So that's a plus.
No,
That's
that's
awesome.
awesome. And I think a lot of people feel bad about like having to adopt out a child, and you know, having been adopted out, and in a position where, you know, at 21, I, you know, was pregnant and like homeless, and I knew I needed to adopt, like, give my son up for adoption, because abortion for me just, I don't know, I was a devout Christian at the time, and I thought God would hate me and punish me, and I just wasn't sure that I could live with that for the rest of my life. I understand that adoption is really the most loving thing that you can do for a baby. And, um, you know, if it's, I think a lot of people are just like, oh, they didn't want me. And I hate that stigma that comes with adoption. It really is, for the parent, the most loving thing that you can do for a child, to, you know, trust someone else with your baby.
Yeah.
It's
a very, very selfless act. Like it's
one of the
so
most
hard.
selfless acts.
Yeah.
It's so
seriously
hard.
Yeah, it's putting the kids' needs in front of your own wants, whatever they are. And it's, you know, it's an entirely different sort of thing than a lot of the other, you know, parenting alternatives that there are. And it's, you know, it's, to me, it's very much a form of love.
One of the most loving things you can do for your kids. I mean, if you're like, if you happen to be in that situation, it was very selfish of me to keep my son, because I had, I had no plan. I just had determination that he was going to be okay, and I hauled ass to do everything that I could. And I was fortunate that it worked out for me. But there's so many, man, not my last job, but the one before, I worked for in an adolescent drug rehabilitation unit, and to see the downside of that, you know, the people who really shouldn't have been so egotistical or so selfish. You know, you need to do what's best for all involved, and sometimes it's adoption, and you should never ever feel bad for that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
There's just so much like so much involved with parenting that I can't personally attest to, you know, because I'm not, I mean, I have a ball of fur sitting next to me, so
She's adorable, though.
Too. She knows she's cute too. She hates everybody except for me. But I know, you know, even just as an outsider, there's so much involved with parenting, and it's such a different sort of thing, you know, than even just dealing with yourself. You know, there's so many different aspects of you know, what it means to be a good parent, and there's so many different aspects of, you know, what it means to make these decisions. And that's a big reason why I myself don't want to have kids, is because that's decisions I don't know if I could ever make. Like, I don't trust myself enough to have kids is a big part of it.
You're young.
It is definitely rough, and it turns from I have to worry about me and maybe my family, depending on who you are, to I have this life that depends on me 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're not, like, for me, I had her a year and a half after my mother died, and I was so messed up from that. I couldn't even take care of myself.
Yeah.
My friends were literally taking care of me. Whoever I was living with, or wherever I ended up, or whatever new person. I mean, I was very lucky, and I met a lot of amazing people who helped me, and none of them used me or hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had some, but they weren't the backbone of it. But those people really took care of me for a long time. I was shit for about 2.5, 3 years after she passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough. It's scary. It's hard. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
a parent
for allowing me to share.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Leah, for sharing that. I know all that stuff.
Yeah, and I condolences on your loss, but I'm so excited for what the future is going to bring you. You know, this new news. So
So we have one more.
Yeah,
Aunt
sorry, Aunt Jer.
No, it's okay.
All right, so the hour in.
I can't speak for everyone. I am so sorry. Audrey, you've been so very patient this whole entire time, and we appreciate
really,
very much.
really patient. Aunt Jer,
that's all right.
What is your 2020 bitch?
Well, there's so much bad happening, and then I just feel so helpless. Like, you know, when protests started happening, it's like I can't go out and protest for various reasons, and I don't have money to give to causes. So it's just like I don't know how I can be an activist or help anybody. And that's like my biggest thing. Like I need ways. Like I've been spending that time educating myself, like watching documentaries about the Black experience in America and all kinds of stuff, but that's as much as I could figure out.
Yeah,
I felt the
totally
same way.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Kelly.
Thanks. I felt the same way, and I went on Twitter and I just said something. I said, you know, I want to support the Black community, but I don't feel safe going to a protest. And I was surprised at the responses I got, which was, don't, Granny, if you're not safe going to a protest, don't. You know, here's a website. And they gave me this list of all these things I could do to help besides going to a protest. It was wonderful.
Right. And there's so many things you can do. One, I love that you're open. It was having an argument the other day with somebody who was like, you know, defund the police is the worst marketing, da 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 da. And I'm like, you know, I didn't immediately understand defund the police when I first heard it either. I was kind of curious, and I did a simple Google search, and there were all these articles that enlightened me to what that actually meant. I didn't have to actually bitch on the internet about not understanding it. And I'm not saying that directed towards you, Enter, at all.
It's amazing what happens when you know, just sort of...
When you're just curious and you want to know, and you say that. Like, it's actually a kudos to you for, you know, just being inquisitive and what I don't understand. What does this mean? Like, that is the very first step. I mean, just, you know, I mean, with alcoholics too, it's just like, I'm out of control. I don't know what to do. Like, just acknowledge, like, that's, as a Black person, like, that's really the point, that, like, if you could just start there, just, if we could just, like, all the bigots, if we could just get them there, like, it would be so huge and such a turning point. Like, all the bigots, though, not that Andrew's a bigot, but if you can't get out of the house You don't need to. I like people like that because there are all these letters you can write. There are all these phone calls you can make. There are all these text messages you can do from your phone to ResistBot that will get you. It's just if you don't have paper, there's ResistBot, which will fax it to your congressman on paper. If you don't know who your congressmen are, actually, there are a lot of websites that can help you out. Me and Susan know a lot of them. We can help you out. Who do you need to call? Like, just get out of bed and call them. Leave voice messages. They have interns that will write them down. They catalog them. They, your bitching does not fall on deaf ears. There are things that you can do from the confines of your bed. We just need you conscious and willing to bitch. Like, there's so much you can do without spending a dime.
Yeah, I'm willing to bitch. I can write emails, not necessarily like paper letters. I can make phone calls, but I just need like a place like where, because I can Google like who my representatives are, but the results are so many, and it just confuses me. And it's just like unmotivating. It's demotivating.
What state are you in?
I am in Washington.
Okay.
Oh, so you're just I don't know why I'm pointing up instead of actually. I
am not on top of your house.
Are you sure? Because
I am
in the attic.
I am in your basement.
I really like the color of your bedspread.
That's not how geography works.
Well, do me a favor, Maya. In the comments of this video, after it posts, why don't you go in there and just put a bunch of shit in there, a bunch of links, different stuff we can look for, forms, put it all in there, and put it on Twitter.
Letters.
Put it in our woman chat, our DM on Twitter, and I'll spread it out.
Oh yeah,
and that way everybody listening right now can have access to it. Because she's right. I've looked up stuff like that, and it's very daunting to read all. And I'm like, who's real? Who's not real? What helps? I don't have time to do all this. I want to do 4 things. Which 4 things are the best? Like, that's the guidance I need. I have a lot because unlike all of you, because most people are getting mad because they don't have a job. I'm mad that I'm still working. Because I'm telling you, if I wasn't working in all this shit, I'd be going down to the different towns and walking with everybody. But the problem is they do it during the day on the days I work every freaking time, and I miss out on all of it. So if you could do that for me, Maya, that would be great. We can we can spread that out and help people.
Fine. Susan, I can bring this to me because I mean, feel free, like wherever I am, like not, feel free to jump in. Well, I really trust and respect you, and I love your channel, and not to like show for other people's channels during a stream, but
no, it's fine.
I just want to make it abundantly clear that I said something that could have been taken as kind of a jackass thing to say a little bit ago. It's just the whole like Googling is very hard, and I just realized that could have been taken as me being a jackass to you, Anjur, and I'm very, very sorry if it came across that way because that was not what I meant. I'm very, very sorry.
Oh, I didn't even hear it.
Okay, okay, because it was more in response. It was more in response to what something that Maya had been saying, and it was not like I had been sort of thinking about that. I was like, I did not mean to be a jackass.
No one thought that.
I didn't hear it.
Susan, I don't have jackasses on my panel, and I guarantee you, no one here, and probably 98% of the chat would not be offended by something like that.
Susan
we tend to look at the good side instead of running to the negative. Fuck the negative.
But she needed to say it to get it off her chest.
I don't think that Susan has a malicious bone in her body at all.
She doesn't.
I'm debating with people. I can't say I don't know.
Susan, you do well in Canada. You apologize so much. Dun.
Maybe once they come and do the invasion, then they can just take me back with them.
Yeah, you just gotta make sure you say sorry right. You gotta say sorry correctly.
I can't say sorry. I gotta.
And then they'll let you in. Sorry.
I might be in Canada sooner rather than later.
I'll join you.
Just to inject a little humor, Maya, you made the comment that defund the police is one of the worst marketing jobs ever. And I will grant you that it was definitely a poor choice of words, but not anywhere near as bad as the campaign "Meth, We're on It."
Is that somebody's campaign?
That
Meth,
was a
We're on it.
Yes, that was a state-run, state-sponsored campaign to try to get rid of methane. I'm sorry, yeah, to get rid of meth. But they came up with the dumbest choice. That was their slogan.
No. Oh, no.
Wow.
They show this high school football team. They all go, "Meth, we're on it," and it's supposed to mean that we're on trying to find a solution, but it didn't come across that way at all.
Meanwhile, the rest of the state is like, we knew it.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was Texas or South Dakota now.
Sounds like Texas,
Almost
honestly.
the same thing.
That basically, yeah. And that's coming from somebody who is, I mean, I call myself a textpad, so
I guess they didn't put a comma after meth.
No. Well, I don't know, possibly, but obviously it got lost at some point.
Lost in translation, grammar and punctuation.
Yeah, grammar, punctuation. Maybe anti-meth. We're on it,
Right.
or
Something
removing
like-
meth, or
The meth problem.
Totally different. Yeah.
Yeah, it was South Dakota. Now Texas, it, as a parody, came up with heroin. We're shooting it up. Yeah. That's why I couldn't remember whether it was Texas or South Dakota, because one did the original and the other did the parody. But I just looked it up, and yeah, it was South Dakota that did the original.
that's
That means
amazing.
Colorado has to say pot. We're burning it.
So,
But then that would be literal. Never mind.
I don't know if you guys remember this. I remember, I only know this because I had to do a study around slogans when I was in high school from like my marketing class. And one of the slogans for Richard Nixon was, "They can't lick our dick."
I've heard about that.
You're kidding.
No, they all nicknamed his nickname was Dick. There was like pins that said "We love Dick."
Yeah,
and everybody, it was everywhere.
It's sort of like
yes, Maya, it's true. I've seen one of those pins. I've seen a picture of one of those original "We love Dick" pins.
Yeah. There's also Batman from ages ago also used the word boner as like a snafu sort of thing. Like, oh, something boner. And I'm just like, okay, you could tell me about it, Joker.
I remember that. Yeah, I've used it that way.
Was dick a euphemism for penis back when Nixon was president?
Yeah, I think that was a 60s, 70s thing. I really do, because they all saw it as nothing. It was his name. Everybody called him Dick. Right.
But I mean, and it's not a name so much anymore, because I don't know. Again, my entire life, I'm only 40, God. But it's been, I've always known dick to mean penis. So I don't know when that started.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I don't know.
Researching like
I'm not even sure if if Google would give me that. Like, where would I go to find that? But
you'd be surprised. Google
put
can
in
give
quotation. When did dick stand for penis?
Right.
And I don't know though. Watch for the porn sites on that Google search. That could be bad.
Right. Don't do that anymore. Oh my God. But that is like,
yeah.
We
love
so
dick. We support dick. Yeah.
There's so many
thumbs up. God.
Like, what are they? A jock strap? Anyways, yes.
When I had to do my my marketing research, whatever, around slogans, there was one I found, and I'll never forget it, because it was one that the slogan was "Getting hard for you." That was one. There was another one that was "Vote for Al Smith and make all your wet dreams come true."
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Was he running on a platform of like water parks or something? Like
or climate change or anything having related to water?
No. And then there was one that came out of Hawaii, and it was, I'll do my best, but I can't promise anything.
Well, I feel trust and confidence in you. I will vote for you. What the hell is that?
I mean, under promise, over deliver, or something like that. I don't know.
Sure.
Oh, politicians are idiots, anyways. Let's just be honest.
I'll be honest.
If they're a lifetime politician, I pretty much say, "Oh, you're a lifetime politician? Okay, I don't trust you." That's it.
Yeah.
You have an agenda. You're in somebody's pocket. Somebody else is in your pocket. Don't trust you.
Yeah.
People don't like the truth. Like they just just genuinely don't like the truth. They get really mad at the truth.
Yep.
They can't handle it. Like you can't handle the truth. Sorry, that was a really
You can't handle the truth.
Exactly. It's really anyway.
Really bad one.
No, I agree. Anyway. I agree. People tend to just like. I think this goes back to religion and stuff. People like to they prefer the comforting lie over everything else.
That reminds me of Sega's first slogan, and it's a picture of the original like Sega controller with the joystick, and someone's holding it, and it says, "The more you play with it, the harder it gets."
What?
That last part
really the truth, though.
That's not right.
And then another thing, like Sunglasses Shack, their slogan is "Sitting on Faces" since 2001.
Oh my god!
Oh gosh!
Right.
I love it.
That can't be accidental.
I'm not even touching that. I'm not touching that one.
Oh, the random things that I look at when I'm bored.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I like it, Leah.
Oh my goodness, all of you, you're all nuts, and I like it.
We're in good company.
Well, we went all the way from bad health insurance to penis, so that was good. Covered a lot of topics there.
Who doesn't love talking about dick? I was talking about Nixon. Come on.
Oh yeah. We love Dick.
Tricky Dick.
Nixon.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So this kicked me off in looking up stuff, and there's this gym, and their slogan is "Cheat on your girlfriend, not your workout."
Oh.
Okay.
Oh my God.
That's
so look good enough to cheat on your girlfriend, but don't skip a workout. Okay, yeah. So a man wrote that.
I was gonna say that. Right.
For sure.
Very vividly.
If a woman wrote it, it would say cheat on your boyfriend.
That's right.
There's an
or maybe significant other, because most women are more considerate than that line of thinking. Anyways, yes, I buy it.
Your girlfriend saying it to a dude is very, very heteronormative.
I just found another one, and it's about this clothing place called the Chubettes, and it's for chunkier women, I guess. And the slogan is, "She can have a tummy and still be yummy."
Oh.
That's the new slogan. Right there.
Oh, can we share it, Susan?
Yes.
It's all of our new descriptions on Twitter. You'll be seeing it.
Right?
Why are you
got a tummy still yummy?
Hell yeah.
Hey, I'll have you know, Miss Julie LaVoice, I miss the gym. I was starting to look really good there. And now they're making people wear masks, and I'm a some odd year smoker who's trying to quit, and I have enough trouble breathing while working out without the mask. So I'm in a holding pattern with my chub.
Yeah, I'll just say that's my reason for not going to the gym.
It's my most recent one. I had a different one last year. Now it's COVID.
Usually my personal slogan is "fuck the gym." But
yeah, fuck the gym. Yeah,
I like it.
I just go in there and beat up on the machines.
I can't. Like, I like the elliptical. I'd rather just have one in my house when I'm, watching whatever. Like, I don't want to go to the gym.
Yeah. Yeah, but see, I'm not really big into that treadmill bicycle thing, honestly. It's so with my way my ADHD, it's so monotonous. I'm just like, oh, somebody shoot me. How long do I have to do this? Like, I'll get on one and I'll be like, I'm going, and then I'm like, oh, this sucks. I'm gonna go.
No. You do it in front of the TV.
Yeah.
Like you jump on the elliptical, you queue up the critical questions. By the time it's over, you're done.
No, by the time it's over, I'm sitting down off of the elliptical, smoking a cigarette, going, that's a good answer. How did man not think of that? That's what happens.
I just found the best ad ever.
Ooh.
No.
For Build-A-Bear.
Oh, no.
And it says, you only know what you're made of when you've been stuffed a few times.
That's right. That worked for me. That's why I'm gay now. I got stuffed a few times. I'm done with it now. Oh my God. I thought for sure you were going to say something about shoving something up a butt or something. I don't know. Don't they stuff it from beneath? I never mind. I don't know.
I thought they stuffed them from the top or from the back.
Well, that would be smarter than my idea. Just,
Now I just want to go to Build-A-Bear.
It works. Hey, that shit's expensive. You pay like $60 for a damn teddy bear for that. And that kid's going to go, for a month and then in the corner. See, I'm a tight
And then you got to buy all the accessories for it.
That's true. No, you don't. You go, no, Tommy, out the door. Johnny, go. No more of that. No, I'm not doing it. Not for a teddy bear.
I'm an adult. I have a disposable income. Damn it.
Yeah, some of us had children that had to go there. But yeah, you don't have to go back. God.
Right. No, they shut it down. The teddy bears have COVID. We're not going back. They're all politicians in there. We're not going in that door. Something. Come up with something.
Oh, the lies we tell our children to stay out of stores.
I'm saying.
Oh my God. Right?
They have no concept of money.
No, they do not.
Like, why can't I have a
Go ahead.
No, it's just like they're all like, why can't I have a $600 teddy bear? And I'm like, I will kill you, I swear. It can make it look like an accident. Oh my God, they're expensive.
And make another one just like you. My mother used to tell us that. She'd say, I brought you in this world. I could take you out and make another one just like you. And then we looked around and thought, there's 7 of us. She's already got backup, so you better shut up. Like any minute now, she could just be like, bam, down to 6.
That's your little sister. That's the backup.
No, I am the youngest one. So screwed after me.
There was there was another oldest that you've never met.
Oh, what? What happened? Who's in my family?
I said there's another oldest that you never met. She knocked one off and had you at its place.
We don't talk about that. No,
I'm going to tell you, I was definitely an accident because I have the biggest gap in the family between children. There's like less than a year, less than a year, 2 years, and then boom, there's like 3.5 years between 3 years between me and my brother. So I know I was an accident. And then, by the way, coincidentally, right after I was born, my father went and had a vasectomy, and he was like, "Oh no, we're done."
B, my two older girls, they are 2 years and 2 days apart, and then there's 12 years, and then Robin.
Oh my god!
And Robin was not an accident. I worked full time when the 2 older ones were little. And so when we reached the point where we had the financial independence that I could stay home, I said, I want another one. Best decision I have ever made. Because when my second one went to college, I was so depressed. All I could think was, thank God I have my Robin. Thank God I have my Robin. I was still a Christian back then. And I have never regretted the decision of having one that late in life. I was 40 when Robin was born.
My mom knocked him out early. I was 28. Or my mom was 28 when I was born.
Wow.
17 to 28, early. 7 kids. Yeah.
I was like, my mom was like 30. Okay, so my mom was born in 52. I was born in 87. So my mom was just shy of 35 when I was born, and I'm the baby. My parents waited like 10 years.
Yeah, all of my siblings were accidents. So I was the one that was adopted out. And then there was my oldest brother that came 4 months after the marriage. And then there was my other brother that came 11 months after him. And then there was my youngest brother that came 12 years later.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
You guys were about to get hit up in our group chat with some of the craziest advertisements I'm finding.
Yes. Oh, I look forward to it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I found this first one is so great. It's called Madame Rowley's Toilet Mask. I ain't even playing.
What? I have to know.
I assume it's a mask with a picture of a toilet on it.
It is a lady's face with a mask on, and it's called or face glove. And it is to keep yourself clean and pristine without blemishes and everything.
What? Okay.
This looks like something from Repo the Genetic Opera.
The genetic.
Like now I'm gonna go watch Repo the Genetic Opera, so thank you.
I love this old WD-40 advertisement. It says, "Do you have tight nuts or a rusty tool? Then use WD-40 in the man-sized pressure pack."
The man-sized pressure pack.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You see what happens? We start talking about silly stuff, and then I go on this tangent of Googling silly stuff. Like, it makes me laugh.
Do they have any advertisements that say something to the effect of gut gnats and cobwebs, need them removed? Call Mr. Plumber?
No.
I'm just asking. I didn't know if that was on the
There's some
same line.
Ankle corsets?
What?
To make your ankles narrow?
Is that for cankles?
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, admittedly, I have something that could be called an ankle corset, but it's an ankle brace because I broke my ankle almost 2 years ago. So, you know.
I'm
just leaving that one. I'm going to leave that one alone. I'll probably insult somebody by making a joke about that one. We'll just move on from that. All right, ladies. So we have been on about an hour and 20 now. And I want closing thoughts for 2020. What positive thing each one of you hope will come out of it? Let me go backwards this time. Aunt Jer, unmute yourself. What positive thing do you want to come out of 2020?
More awareness, people being more aware of people less fortunate than them, and of their own privilege, and ways that we can all help others.
I like it. That would be great. Everybody hope for that one. Cross your fingers, toes. Ilya.
I hope that we somehow get a grip on the pandemic here in the States and that Biden wins the election.
I'm with you on that one as well. Granny.
Well, Ilya got mine. I was said Trump voted out of office. Get rid of Trump, and the other get rid of Mitch.
Yes, that would be another one that would be wonderful to go. Miss Maya, what's your positive hope?
I don't know. I mean, I got to be friends with you, and Susan knows that I'm a thing, and I'm friends with what do you call it, Mama Atheist, and it's been a good year for friendships and building closer relationships, just having the time to do all that. So I'm going to count my blessings where they are.
Okay. Excellent. Miss Susan.
Positivity from this year? Oregon? So as selfish as this sounds, I love where I live. Texas could not handle me and Nathaniel. I'm just gonna say that because we're too awesome for Texas.
Because your vines aren't closed up and covered in cow shit and longhorns. Yeah, right. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. What I'm hoping comes of the rest of the year, same thing. Voting Trump out. I'm hoping to watch a lot more YouTube content, that's for sure, because I'm interacting a lot more with people that are really, really awesome. So I'm gonna consume a lot more of y'all's content. That's for damn sure.
Right. Excellent.
That's about it.
I'm going to go off of that, and I'm going to say this. In December of last year, I started being more active on YouTube. By the end of January, beginning of February, I met all these amazing people and started meeting more and more as time went by. I have to say that with my bout of depression that I had for almost a month, as much as I avoided all of you, it wasn't for lack of love. I just had to get my own shit straight, and I was feeling very emotionally introverted, I guess would be the best way to put it. So I had a breakdown one day, and you know who talked me through it? My YouTube friends, Manda and Math Pig and Dave. I was just done. I was like, I'm done. I'm fed up. And I was crying, and they were all three on a stream, and I didn't even know it until right before they started a private stream with me, and they talked to me for a while and let me cry it out. And I'm just so thankful for the whole entire community. You know, my job went to shit, and I got handed an opportunity to do something different for the same company, and I'm doing that now. I'm doing on-site COVID testing. That's all I can say about it. Away from the store, we have like a mobile trailer unit, and they move us around where they need us. And I've met some amazing people doing that, and I'm making new friends, and so that's amazing. You know, I so much went wrong with this year. So much went wrong in people's personal lives. So much went wrong with the country. But there is one thing I can say that happens every single time. We come out of it. We come out of it, and we come out of it stronger, and our community grows every single time. So when something goes wrong, I'm basically like, bring it on, bitch. We got this. We'll fight our way through it, and we'll gain more people, and we'll open more minds, and we'll come out ahead at the end of the day. I know we will. We've done it every time. That's just people in our community. That's just what we do. And I'm not talking about just America. I'm just saying in general, these group of amazing people that we all know, that's what we always do. So I just think I'm just going to be closer to some people, and I'll have some better friends and make new ones. And I just look forward to it. That's where I'm at.
Love it.
Love it.
That's awesome.
All right. I'm going to get off of here and go relax for the rest of my evening. I am free tomorrow evening if anybody wants to do anything, and early in the morning, and every weekend hereafter. I pretty much don't have anything planned. So from Saturday morning at 9 or 10 a.m. until Sunday at 6 to 8 p.m. Mountain Time, I am good. So you guys just let me know. You want to do something, we'll jump back on here. And I think once a week I'm going to do an itch and a bitch.
Can
I love it.
I think it's good, and I'm going to do it. I want to do it the same way every time. Negative, positive at the end.
Yeah, and next time Aunt goes first.
Yes, and she gets 25 minutes by herself.
Yes.
I don't know if I could take a whole 25 minutes all by myself. Monologuing.
Can I shill my show tomorrow?
You know what? You guys take turns. You go ahead first, and we'll let everybody take a turn.
Tomorrow on Sit Down with Debunkers, we have our equality show, and we have Micro Raptor coming on, and she is coming on to discuss transitioning and what that's been like for her. And we're going to have just a really healthy conversation around it and highlight it because she's in a different country. So we had Jenny Morgan on, but I want to see what that looks like in a different country from a different perspective, and get a kind of a taste for the differences in the world amongst countries when it comes to transitioning and stuff. So she will be on tomorrow. That is our highlight for tomorrow. And then next week we have Chris Shelton coming on Equality 2, where we're going to discuss anti-cult and Scientology and what he does.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So, Aunt Jur, what have you been doing? You doing anything? Any channels you're going to be on? Blah blah blah.
Yes. After this, at the top of the hour, whatever hour that is where you are, I'm going to be on Jen's Little Corner show. It is called That's News to Me, and yes, it's a comedy news show, and I'm on Twitter and I lurk about in various chats.
Excellent. Sounds good to me. Susan, you go.
Eventually we're bringing back our weekly news stream, but I don't know when that's going to happen. Eventually, hopefully this week. I don't know. Every Saturday I have a show called Explain Like I'm 5, which is just members of the community coming on and talking about stuff they don't normally get to talk about. Stuff they're not necessarily pigeonholed for. They get to talk about it and hang out for an hour, so that's always fun. That is at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Next week I have Thomas Smith from Serious Inquiries Only and Opening Arguments and Philosophers in Space and stuff. Yeah, that's about all I got going on right now. Just really Explain Like I'm 5. So that one's a lot of fun. So yeah.
Okay, Maya, go for it, lady.
I don't know. If you're watching me, I'm probably in your chat. And I, kind of pop around as invited, but I don't think I have anything planned. I think I see, follow a bit of Tea and Danish. Looks like I'm going to be doing something over there soon. But also follow Julie LaVoie. Has great Wine and Reason and Cripple has great critical questions. And you'll probably see all of us over there at some point as well as Math Pigs channel. I think a lot of us have been a Math Pigs channel. So I'm
pretty sure almost all of us have.
Yeah, so I just do the things. And my favorite thing is just like drinking wine and talking shit in the side chat. So if you ever want to see me, I'll probably be doing that with you.
Well, if you guys ever want to do a Saturday night, let's drink and cuss and get it out of our system stream, let me know. We'll do that too. I'm game.
Yeah, I'm there.
I'm flexible. I just like talking to you people. I think you're amazing. Miss Granny, your turn.
I just released a video a couple hours ago on flag burning. And on Monday, I'm doing a 500 subscriber celebration stream. And there will be guest appearances by Shannon Q, Vice Rhino, and Godless Engineer will be on. Nervardia will be there.
Nice.
Yeah, and Mr. Bear is coming. It's my first time to do something with Mr. Bear. I've been wanting to do something with him for a while. Yeah.
Cool.
Right? I'm jealous. He's amazing.
He is.
Yeah. Congratulations, Granny.
That's an awesome stream.
Yeah. And when is that?
That is Monday at 7 Central Time.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Oh, I might be able to catch that one.
Okay. And I'm working on a collab with Vice Rhino right now. We're doing a response to a Ray Comfort video that the second law of thermodynamics is the #1 reason that evolution is not true.
So you're debunking his banana theory. Love it.
You know, I love how they just totally bypass the first law of thermodynamics. Like it doesn't like completely like make everything they believe fall apart. You know, because I mean, if there's a God, he would have to be composed of some energy because everything is energy. And if everything is neither created nor destroyed, that would mean like God is part of everything. And how does that fit in?
One thing that was interesting for me in doing this one, I always research for every video. And this one, I ended up researching the difference between dust and dirt.
Why?
Ooh.
Because it was important.
Okay. No, I'll watch. You know, before I ask any questions, I'll watch. I know how to shut up and listen.
No, we don't, Maya. Don't act like you're not like me. Don't even act like that. You know you're like me. You have to say shit. That's why I like you.
I do. And I don't know. The first law, I mean, it just really interests me that nobody ever looks at the first law of thermodynamics because it means like everything. I mean, it was really mean, almost like a deistic point of looking at the universe. And I would love to get someone like Ray Comfort, like pinned down on that. Like, it's like, okay, if you know the second law, then you must know the first law. And that means everything was neither created nor destroyed. So was your God part of that? Or how does your God fit into that? Like, because since we're adhering to science, you can't say, oh, no, this doesn't matter, but this does. We're within the laws of thermodynamics. So no, really. Let's put this whole thing like against the first law before we get to the second, because that would make sense, right? And maybe I'm rambling a bit, but I would just really love to see somebody, like I always hear Christians argue for the second law of thermodynamics, and they never, ever, ever talk about the first. And I would like to get somebody pinned down on that, but they won't, or they obfuscate.
I want to make a real quick comment on what Julie Lavoie said. You know, Julie said a certain atheist named Junk Shop Library will be there. And Julie is right. The stream that I am doing on Monday, Junk Shop will be there as well. And in the video that I just released on flag burning, I put in a plug for Junk Shop in that one as well.
Oh, yeah, Junk Shop is awesome.
Except for
except for the part where he always like does his streams during my work day. Like that is not awesome.
Yeah, what is up with all you guys doing streams in the middle of the day when I'm at work and they have me half the time out in the middle of nowhere? I can't even listen to it on my headphones or anything while I'm working. I'm very disappointed in all of you. You should work around my schedule and make sure I can be there. That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying.
No.
I had a lot of fun tonight. Thank you for inviting.
Thank you for coming.
This was a lot of fun.
It is. It's good stuff.
I love it.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, B. It's fun.
Yeah,
and I love meeting new people.
Yeah, all of you people are welcome back whenever you want. No one drove me crazy or irritated me. It takes a lot, but you know, we're still all pretty great people. And you guys are all very kind and respectful, and I appreciate that. So all of you people out there, look for another Itchin' to Bitch. I'll probably do one next weekend. Maybe we'll shoot for around the same time on Saturday, and we'll get something set in stone and do it every week. And whoever wants to be on, you know how to find me on Twitter. And everybody out there, yeah, take care of each other. Open your mind. Don't be afraid to advocate. And if you're not sure, ask. If you're a black person, you want to ask a white person a question, ask a white person. If you're a white person, you want to ask Maya. Maya will tell you, and she'll tell you either the damn truth or something really close to it and get back to you with the truth. And that's a fact.